Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to film a get ready with me. I'm off to the Ritz in London for afternoon tea, so I thought I'd show you how I did my makeup. Not sure what I'm doing here. First I'm using the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion just to prime my eyelids. I'm popping it on with the applicator and I'm going to blend it into the skin using my fingers. I never used to use an eyeshadow primer until recently. I got this for Christmas from my sister, but I completely swear by it now. It just makes my eyeshadow last so much longer, especially if you have oily eyelids. I'd really recommend this. For my eyeshadow I'm using the Urban Decay Naked Free palette. I'm just taking the lightest shade, which is Strange, to set all over my eyelids, set the primer potion. I'm doing that using a Real Techniques base shadow brush. Now I'm taking the matte colour Limit and a Real Techniques deluxe crease brush and using that as my transition shade and just buffing it into my crease, blending it out, making sure it's all seamless and blended. I apologise if the lighting's not brilliant and my camera setup's not great in this video. We had to leave really early, so I'm using all artificial light here. It was dark outside. And looking back on it, I probably should have zoomed the camera in a bit more so you could see what I was doing better, but I will learn for next time. Next I'm taking the darker shade, which is Nuna, and using a Body Shop N83E, which is like a fluffy crease blending brush, and I'm just using this to darken up the crease slightly. Again, using circular motions to make sure it's all blended. And using that same brush and the same colour, I'm just taking it onto the outer corner of my eyelid to deepen up the look a little. Next I'm taking the colour Buzz, which is a nice pink shimmery shade, and a Body Shop N93E brush, which is like a flat shader brush, just to pat that colour onto my lid. Then I'm just taking the brush I use in the crease just to make sure that shimmery colour is blended in seamlessly. Now moving on to my skin, I'm using the Benefit Professional Primer. My camera cut out halfway through me doing this, but basically I just patted it into the skin, focusing mainly on where I've got larger pores. And then I'm doing some colour correcting. I'm using the Kiko Natural Concealer in the shade 04, just applying it where I've got my redness. I've got quite a lot of it because I have rosacea, and I'm just going to blend that into the skin using my finger. Next I'm going in with foundation. I'm using the Estee Lauder Double Wear in the shade Desert Beige, and I'm using my Real Techniques buffing brush to buff that into my skin. And I tend to need a little bit more coverage on my cheeks, so I'm just adding a tiny bit more foundation there and just making sure everything's blended in down my neck, in my hairline and on my ears. For my under eye concealer, I'm using the Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Light Neutral, and I'm just going to buff that into the skin using my Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. I love this concealer. It's not particularly easy to get hold of in the UK, but if you can, I really love it. Next, I'm going to set under my eyes using the Makeup Revolution Translucent Pressed Powder, using a Real Techniques setting brush. Then I'm going back in with eyeshadow again. I'm using the shade Limit and a Body Shop N82E, which is like a kind of thin defined blending brush. I'm just buffing that onto my lower lash line. Next, I'm taking the shade Nuna and a Real Techniques brow brush just so I can get this really tight and close into my lower lash line. I'm just blending that into the other colour. Next, I'm taking the shade Dust on a Real Techniques accent brush just to highlight my inner corner. And I just like to drag that slightly down onto my lower lash line as well. I find this just really opens up my eyes and makes them look bigger. And finally, before my eyeshadow, because I forgot to do this earlier, I'm taking the shade Strange on a Makeup Revolution E103 brush and just highlighting under my brow bone. I like doing this with a matte shade. I find it just helps buff the other eyeshadows out and make sure they're perfectly blended. Next, I'm going to line my tight line using a Bourjois liner stylo in the shade Ultra Black. I didn't manage to film this. And then I'm curling my eyelashes using my Kiko eyelash curlers. For mascara, I am using the MAC False Lashes mascara in the shade Extreme Black. Obviously, if you like wearing them, you could use false lashes if you wanted to do this look. I don't tend to like wearing them that much. I'm not that used to them, so I'm just using mascara for now. And I'm just adding some of that on my bottom lashes as well. And I'm setting my whole face using Makeup Revolution translucent pressed powder and a Real Techniques powder brush. Next, I'm going in for brows. I'm using the Kiko brow gel. I'm not 100% sure, I'm pretty sure this is the only shade it comes in. I was going to fill in my brows properly, but by this point I was rushing and I was running out of time, so I had to cut some corners. So my eyebrows was one of them. I think I'm quite lucky because I've got quite dark, full eyebrows anyway, so I can get away with not filling them in. Next, I'm contouring. This is the Sleek Face Contour Kit in the shade Light, and I'm using a Real Techniques contour brush. I'm making sure I blend this in really nicely just under my cheekbones. I don't like too harsh of a contour, so I like to make sure it's really nicely blended. Now you will see me put way too much on my forehead and frantically try to blend it out. This is what not to do with your contour. I'm just going back in with the leftovers of the foundation on my foundation brush just to soften that a bit since I put too much on. Finally, I'm contouring under my jawbone. I like doing this, it just makes it look a bit more defined, and I'm just going to buff that downwards into my neck. And for blush, I'm using the Kiko Soft Touch Blush in the shade 107, and I'm using a Real Techniques blush brush just to blend that onto the apples of my cheeks and blend it upwards. And for highlight, I'm using the Tarte Amazonian Clay highlighter in the shade Exposed, and I'm putting that onto the high points of my face using a Zoeva 129 Luxe Fan brush. I don't tend to highlight my nose because I've got quite enlarged pores, so I just tend to keep it on my cheekbones and around my brow bone. Next, I'm setting my face using the Gerard Cosmetics Slay All Day setting spray. This was going to be a long day, so I needed my makeup to last forever. And finally, for my lips, I'm using the Body Shop Matte Lip Liquid in the shade Goa Magnolia. I was really impressed with this. It lasted a really long time. I only had to reapply it when I was eating, which isn't bad going. Sorry I didn't manage to show you my hair or my outfit. I completely ran out of time. We had to leave quite early for this, so yeah. So this is the finished look. I hope you have enjoyed watching. Thank you very much if you have. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you liked it, and maybe even subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Bye.